Kia ora, my name is Cindy Hammer. I'm a local girl, born here in Ngāti Kahungunu. It's my third year teaching, fully registered, and I'm a Year 7 teacher at Hastings Intermediate. I just think an e-portfolio is easy to access, it's easy to get to, it doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. If you've got your phone, your iPad or your laptop with you, you can file your teaching experiences as you go, and it's everywhere. If people want to look at it, you can email it to them. So it just makes sense to me. You're not carrying anything around. You just have, if you have your phone with you, you have your e-portfolio with you. Paperwork, the records and all the hard copy stuff that you get daily, can eventually turn into folders and folders. So as opposed to carrying those around, an e-portfolio is with you. It's in your pocket really. So yeah, that's why I've chosen to use an e-portfolio. I'm currently using Evernote. This is my second year of using Evernote. My first year I used a hard copy portfolio, and it just didn't make any sense to me, so I went to Evernote, and it's been great since. It's easy for me to use. And well, I caught on to this thing called Dropbox. It was a good way for me to transfer all my photos so I can copy them out and put them into a hard copy portfolio. And then it was advertising Evernote. So I read it a little bit about it, and I thought I'll give it a go, and I haven't gone back since. If you think about it a little bit like a chapter book, so you can have chapters in there, which I would use as each RTC I have as a chapter. Okay. And then I hold my notes under each chapter, RTC. More often than not though, you probably have one teaching experience that will cover about 4 to 5 RTCs. Therefore you don't know which one to place it under. So what I do is I just save everything and I tag the RTC. So if I want to search, what have you done for RTC 8, I put that in the search box, and everything that I've tagged under that particular RTC all comes up. So it's an easy way for you to be able to access the mahi that you need for a particular RTC. It's time consuming, but not that much time, no more than putting in a new coloured piece of paper for a new file and a hard copy. It's just cut and copy really. So you download the RTCs from online, you save it into Evernote, and then you just cut and copy each criteria into a new chapter. Once it's set up, you don't have to fuss with it again. It's all there for you, and exactly what the criteria is and what type of evidence would be good underneath that criteria, which I found as a PRT really good, because it can mean anything to someone who doesn't really know. But under the RTCs, it tells you exactly what type of evidence would be relevant for that particular RTC. The first few RTCs are all about building relationships. So you could have your classroom tiriti, and that might cover about 3 or so RTCs because you've co-constructed it with your classroom, for example, but it also goes under RTC 1, which is building the relationships with your ākonga. Well, that can come under a number of different things. I've got things like your teacher only day, where we got to meet each other and we did all this fun stuff together and all that type of stuff. And that was building relationships with your work colleagues and getting to know them on a different level. And also getting to know their strengths, who you can call on for certain areas, things like that. So that alone covered about 5 or so RTCs, because you're building those relationships, and it's a professional conversation as well. So that goes into your later RTCs, which is more about your professional development. I've got all sorts. I've got photos, video, audio recordings, and more often than not, I've just typed in what we've done underneath a caption, underneath a photo. It's like an attachment on an email. You just attach a photo. So it is pretty easy. I've also got emails between my colleagues and I that I just save over into my RTCs to prove that I've had that professional conversation and that I've actually gone and sought support from my work colleagues. It's for me. It's mine. I own it. That's my mahi, my work. That's my aroha that goes into theirs. So as far as I'm concerned, it's mine. It's under my personal email address, not my school one, because it doesn't matter where I go. It comes with me, and I share it with the teaching council. But it's mine. I feel anyway. If I was to leave the school, the email address stays with the kura, which means my e-portfolio would be attached to that email address. Hence the reason why I decided to keep it with my email.
So that's something that you would advise people to do?
Definitely. Doesn't matter where you go. If it's attached to your personal email address, it will go with you wherever you are. Look, if you've got big muscles and you enjoy carrying around folders of mahi, all the power to you. But at the end of the day, it saves printing costs, it saves paper, and it's easy access. The things that you think might be quite trivial will probably mean something later on down the line. But because you're new, you sort of don't really know what's important and what's not. Unfortunately, you document absolutely everything, and it's, you've got things this big and it's a bit ridiculous. But e-portfolio, later on when you decide that's important, that's not, it's delete it, and you're not killing trees, really. Yeah.